My friends, I want to address something today that has robbed more people of their dreams than poverty, lack of education, or any external circumstance ever could. It's a single belief, a whispered thought, a quiet resignation that seeps into the mind and paralyzes the will. It's too late for me. Four words that have buried more fortunes, silenced more voices, and destroyed more potential than any tragedy you could name. I've heard it 1,000 times, from men and women of every age, every background, every circumstance. If only I had started sooner. I'm too old now. I've wasted too much time. The opportunity has passed, and every single time I tell them the same truth. You're wrong, not wrong about the past. That's already written, but catastrophically wrong about the future, wrong about what's still possible. Wrong about the power that still lives within you. Because here's what I discovered in my 20 years of studying the most successful people in America. Age is irrelevant. Timing is irrelevant. What matters is decision. The moment you decide, truly decide, everything changes. Not eventually, not someday, immediately. Let me prove it to you. In all my research, analyzing over 500 of America's wealthiest and most successful individuals, do you know what I found? The majority didn't find their greatest success until after the age most people consider too late. Colonel Sanders was 62 years old, broke, living on Social Security when he franchised Kentucky Fried Chicken. 62, an age when most people have not only given up but mocked the very idea of beginning. Ray Kroc was 52 when he met the McDonald brothers and built what would become the world's largest restaurant chain. 52 years old, already past prime by society's standards. Vera Wang didn't design her first dress until she was 40. Laura Ingalls Wilder didn't publish her first book until 65. Frank McCourt published Angela's Ashes, which won the Pulitzer Prize at age 66. Now these aren't exceptions. These aren't anomalies or lucky breaks. These are proof of a universal law. It is never too late to begin. The universe doesn't care about your age. Success doesn't care about your past. Opportunity doesn't check your birth certificate before knocking on your door. The only thing that cares about your age is your own defeated mind. So let me ask you something. What have you been putting off? Because you think you're too late. What dream have you abandoned? Because too many years have passed. What business have you refused to start? What book have you refused to write? What skill have you refused to learn? What relationship have you refused to pursue? And here's the more important question. Where will you be in 5 years if you continue to let this belief control you? Because time is going to pass anyway. 5 years from now, you'll be 5 years older whether you pursue your dream or not. The only difference is this. Will you be 5 years older with regret or 5 years older with results? Let me tell you about a man I met in Philadelphia. He was 58 years old, worked the same factory job for 35 years, hated every single day of it. He came to me and said, "Hill, I've always wanted to be a writer, but I'm nearly 60 years old. I've got no education in it, no connections, no published work. It's too late, isn't it?" I looked him in the eye and asked, "How old will you be in 5 years if you don't start writing?" He blinked. 63. "And how old will you be in 5 years if you do start writing?" Long pause. Also 63. Exactly. So the question isn't whether you're too old. The question is, do you want to be 63 with a manuscript or 63 with nothing but regret? That man published his first novel at age 64, his second at 66. He didn't get younger. He didn't turn back time. He simply stopped letting a lie control his future. Let me tell you what too late actually means. It doesn't mean you're too old. It doesn't mean time has run out. Too late means you're standing at a crossroads between your past self and your future self, and you're choosing which one to be. Every single day you make this choice. Will you be the person who says, "I wish I had," or the person who says, "I'm glad I did"? Will you be the person who let fear win, or the person who let courage speak? Will you be the person who died with their music still in them, or the person who played every note they had? This choice has nothing to do with your age. It has everything to do with your decision. I've seen 70-year-olds with more fire than 30-year-olds, more drive, more determination, more willingness to begin. And I've seen 30-year-olds who are already dead inside, already resigned, already convinced they've missed their chance. Age is a number. Resignation is a choice. Now I know what some of you are thinking, but Hill, other people started younger. They have a head start. I can never catch up. Stop right there. This is the comparison trap, and it will destroy you. You're not competing with anyone but yourself. You're not racing against someone else's timeline. You're not trying to catch up to some imaginary standard. You're simply trying to become more today than you were yesterday. That's it. That's the only race that matters. Someone else started at 20. Good for them. You're starting at 40, or 50, or 60. So what? Their journey is not your journey. Their timeline is not your timeline. The only question that matters is, will you begin? Because here's the truth. 10 years from now, someone will be starting where you are right now, and they'll look at you 10 years ahead and think, I wish I had started when they did. You are always someone's I wish I had started sooner. So stop looking backward. Stop looking sideways. Look forward and start. Here's something I need you to understand. This moment, right now, as you hear these words, is the youngest you will ever be again. Tomorrow, you'll be older. Next month, older still. Next year, even older. So if you're going to start, there will never be a better time than right now. Not when conditions are perfect. Not when you feel ready. Not when you have more time, more money, more knowledge. Now. Because perfect timing is a myth. It doesn't exist. It never has. Every person who has ever accomplished anything significant did so by starting before they felt ready, before conditions were perfect, before they had all the answers. They started anyway. And you know what happened? The answers appeared along the way. The resources showed up when needed. The path revealed itself as they walked it. But none of that could happen until they took the first step, and neither will it happen for you until you begin. So here's what I'm asking you to do. First, identify the one thing you've been putting off because you think it's too late. Don't overthink this. You already know what it is. It's the dream that whispers to you in quiet moments, the regret that keeps you awake at night, the what if that won't leave you alone. Name it. Write it down. Look at it clearly. Second, ask yourself the 5-year question. How old will you be in 5 years if you don't pursue this? And how old will you be in 5 years if you do? The answer is the same, isn't it? So the question becomes, what do you want those 5 years to mean? Third, take one action today, not tomorrow, not next week, not when you feel ready. Today, one small step toward that dream, one tiny action in that direction. Call someone, research something, write one page, take one class, make one plan. It doesn't matter how small. What matters is that you break the paralysis. You prove to yourself that movement is possible. Fourth, decide that starting late is your advantage. Reframe the story you're telling yourself. You're not behind. You're equipped. You're not too old. You're experienced. You're not too late. You're exactly on time for your journey. Every year you've lived has prepared you for what you're about to do. Let me tell you about a woman I met in Boston. She was 71 years old when she came to one of my lectures. She had spent 50 years as a seamstress, raised 4 children alone after her husband died, never had time for herself, never pursued her own dreams. Now her children were grown. Her responsibilities were lighter. And she told me something I'll never forget. Mr. Hill, I've always wanted to paint, but I'm 71 years old. I've never had a lesson in my life. It's ridiculous to start now, isn't it? I asked her, do you want to paint? More than anything. Then paint. But I'm 71, and you'll be 72 whether you paint or not. So would you rather be 72 with paintings or 72 with regret? She stared at me. Then she laughed. Then she cried. 3 months later, she sent me a letter. She'd enrolled in a community art class. She was painting every single day. She'd never been happier. She didn't get younger. She didn't turn back time. She simply stopped letting a lie control her joy. 5 years later, I learned she'd had her first gallery showing at age 76. So here's what I need you to hear. You are not too late. I don't care how old you are. I don't care how much time you think you've wasted. I don't care how far behind you feel. You are not too late. The dream you're carrying, it's still yours. The gift you're meant to share, it's still waiting. The life you're meant to live, it's still possible. But only if you decide. Only if you stop waiting for perfect timing and start with imperfect action. Only if you stop comparing your chapter 1 to someone else's chapter 20. Only if you stop letting age be an excuse and start letting it be an asset. The truth is this: it's never too late to become who you were meant to be. It's never too late to build something meaningful. It's never too late to make your mark. It's never too late to begin. The only too late that exists is the one you choose to believe. This is your crossroads moment. Right now, hearing these words, you have a choice. You can close your mind and say, "That's inspiring, but my situation is different. I really am too late." Or you can open your mind and say, "Maybe I'm not too late. Maybe I can begin. Maybe there's still time." One of those choices leads to regret. The other leads to possibility. Which will you choose? Because I promise you this: 5 years from now, 10 years from now, you will look back on this moment, and you will either think, "I'm so glad I started when I did," or you will think, "I wish I had started back then." The only difference between those two futures is the decision you make right now. So decide. Decide that you're not too late. Decide that your age is irrelevant. Decide that starting now is exactly the right time. Decide that you will not die with your music still in you, and then begin. Not tomorrow, not next week, not someday. Now. Take the first step. Make the first call. Write the first page. Take the first action, because it's never too late to begin, and your future self is waiting for you to prove it.